Welcome, darlings, to isn't it a simply divine name, so evocative of, well, bliss? Today we're going to have a little chat about beauty, not the sort you find plastered across those terribly glossy magazines. No, today we're talking about real beauty, the kind that deepens with every year, every laugh line, every story. We've all been told, haven't we, that beauty fades, that it's a fleeting thing, reserved for the young and wrinkle-free, as if we're a carton of milk that's gone off. They tell us our worth diminishes with each passing year. But what if I told you, my loves, that real beauty doesn't fade at all? What if it actually grows more captivating with time? So how do you know if you're one of these women? Don't worry, you don't need a magic mirror to tell you. We're going to delve into the 4 undeniable signs that you, my dear, are a vision of loveliness. And trust me, these signs have absolutely nothing to do with the latest fad diet or how much you can pinch an inch. Have you ever noticed, darlings, the captivating way a woman who has truly lived moves through the world? It's not hurried or frantic. She glides. She floats. She's reached that divine point in life where she realizes it's not a mad dash to the finish line. She simply exists, and darling, she owns it. She holds herself with a quiet confidence, shoulders back, head high. It's the natural ease of someone who has finally embraced herself, flaws and all. Think of those iconic women, the Helen Mirrens, the Judi Denchs, the Jane Fondas of the world. They don't shrink themselves to fit in, do they? No, they command attention simply by being. They've learned that true power comes not from trying to please everyone, but from pleasing yourself. And that, my darlings, is the key to true grace. It's about accepting yourself, wrinkles and all, and moving through the world with a quiet confidence that speaks volumes. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to apologize for it. It's about no longer seeking validation from fleeting trends or the opinions of others. A woman who carries herself with grace understands that true beauty comes from within, and it radiates outwards, illuminating everything around her. So, darling, hold your head high, embrace your unique beauty, and walk through the world with the confidence of a queen. Because you, my dear, are a force to be reckoned with. Now, I'm not saying you need to swan about in a tiara and ball gown every day, although if that's your thing, go right ahead. It's about finding that inner strength, that sense of self-assurance that allows you to move through the world with grace and ease. It's about letting go of the need to please everyone and embracing the freedom that comes with being unapologetically yourself. Because when you're comfortable in your own skin, when you own your space in the world, it shows. And darling, it's absolutely captivating. So go forth and conquer, my love. The world is your runway. Now, let's be clear, sweethearts. Confidence isn't about strutting around like you own the place, barking orders and demanding everyone admire your handbag. It's not about having all the answers, knowing all the right people, or never, ever making a single mistake. Honestly, how tedious would that be? True confidence, the kind that draws people in, is about something far more subtle, far more alluring. It's about that quiet inner knowing that you are enough, just as you are. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone, darling, because you've already proven it to the only person who truly matters, yourself. A woman who has lived a little, who's experienced the highs and lows that life throws our way, carries a different kind of confidence. It's not loud or flashy. It doesn't need constant validation or reassurance. It simply is. She doesn't crumble when someone disapproves, and she doesn't need a fanfare when someone sings her praises. She's long since learned that her worth isn't tied to the fickle opinions of others. It's anchored within, solid as a rock. Darling, have you ever noticed that some women, they just seem to glow? And I don't mean a spritz of Saint Tropez tan, darling, no. This is something altogether different. It's not about youthful skin or the latest highlighter. It's something deeper. It's a spark, a luminosity that comes from within. It's the kind of light that comes from truly living, darling, from experiencing life's highs and lows with open arms and a fearless heart. It's the laughter lines etched by years of genuine joy, the crinkles around the eyes that hint at 1,000 stories waiting to be told. This isn't about trying to look young, darling. It's about truly seeing. It's about looking at the world with eyes that have witnessed both the beauty and the pain, the triumphs and the heartbreaks. And it's about emerging from it all with a sense of peace, a knowing, a depth that can only be earned through experience. You see, darling, true beauty isn't about erasing the years. It's about the stories they tell. It's the light that shines through, stronger and more captivating with every passing year. A woman who has lived, darling, she sees the world differently. She doesn't just look, she observes. She doesn't just hear, she listens. She has this uncanny ability to see beyond the surface, to understand the unspoken language of the heart. She's been there, darling. She's felt it all. The joy, the sorrow, the doubt, the fear. She's stumbled, she's fallen, she's picked herself up and dusted herself off, stronger and wiser each time. And because of that, she possesses an empathy, an understanding that is both rare and incredibly powerful. When she looks at you, darling, she doesn't just see your exterior, she sees your soul. She sees your strength, your vulnerability, your hopes, your dreams. And in her eyes, you find a reflection of your own worth, a silent affirmation that you are seen, you are heard, you are understood. It's that unspoken connection, darling, that ability to truly see and be seen, that creates a bond of incredible depth and intimacy. And it's a quality that is more precious, more alluring than any fleeting trend or fashion statement. This light in her eyes, darling, it's not something you can fake. It's not about contouring or clever lighting. This is about a life well lived, a soul that has been cracked open and put back together again, stronger and more beautiful for the experience. It's about embracing every wrinkle, every laugh line, every imperfection as a testament to a life fully embraced. It's about understanding that true beauty is not about achieving some impossible standard, but about radiating the wisdom, the compassion, the sheer brilliance of a life lived on your own terms. So, darling, don't be afraid to let your light shine. Don't shy away from the experiences that shape you, that mold you, that make you uniquely, authentically you. Embrace it all, darling, the good, the bad, the messy, the magnificent, because it's in those moments, darling, those moments of vulnerability, of growth, of sheer, unadulterated living, that your inner light shines brightest. And trust me, darling, the world will notice. Darling, isn't it exhausting? This constant need for approval, this feeling that we have to jump through hoops, tick all the boxes, and seek validation from everyone else before we can finally exhale and allow ourselves to feel beautiful? Well, darling, let me tell you, that stops now. We've spent far too long, my dear, contorting ourselves to fit into other people's ideals, shrinking ourselves down to make others feel comfortable. We've starved ourselves, squeezed ourselves, and Botoxed ourselves into oblivion, all in the pursuit of some elusive standard of beauty. But darling, what if I told you that you don't need permission to be beautiful? What if I told you that your worth, your radiance, your inherent fabulousness has absolutely nothing to do with the size of your jeans or the smoothness of your forehead? It's time, my dear, to reclaim your power. It's time to shed those layers of self-doubt and embrace the magnificent, glorious creature you were born to be. Because, darling, you are a masterpiece, wrinkles and all. Think of all the energy we waste, darling, trying to be someone we're not, trying to hide our true selves behind a mask of perfection, terrified of revealing our flaws, our imperfections, our beautiful, messy humanity. Well, darling, I say enough. It's time to embrace every single bit of ourselves, darling, from the tips of our perfectly imperfect noses to the depths of our wonderfully complex souls. It's time to celebrate our quirks, our differences, the very things that make us unique, that make us shine, because, darling, true beauty is not about being flawless. It's about being authentically, unapologetically you. It's about owning your story, every single chapter, and having the confidence to share it with the world. So let your freak flag fly, darling. Let the world see the real you, the strong, the vulnerable, the messy, the magnificent, because that, my dear, is where true beauty lies. Can you imagine the freedom that comes with finally letting go? Letting go of the need to please, the need to conform, the need to be anything other than your most authentic self. It's a revelation, a complete and utter game changer. Imagine waking up every morning and looking in the mirror, not with a critical eye, but with a sense of acceptance, of love, of pure, unadulterated adoration for the incredible woman staring back at you. Imagine moving through the world with a confidence that comes not from external validation, but from a deep, unwavering belief in your own worth. Imagine the freedom, the sheer joy of finally being able to exhale and simply be. That, my dear, is the power of self-acceptance. That's the beauty of embracing your true self, flaws and all. And let me tell you, it's absolutely fabulous. As the sun sets on another day, darling, casting a warm glow on all it touches, let's remember this. Beauty is not something that fades with time. It's not something that can be bought, bottled, or surgically altered. True beauty, darling, is timeless. It's the strength in your spirit, the kindness in your heart, the wisdom in your eyes. It's the way you move through the world, the way you love, the way you laugh, the way you embrace every single moment with a sense of grace, of gratitude, of pure, unadulterated joy. You don't need permission to be beautiful, darling. You don't need approval to take up space. You have always been enough. And the moment you realize that, my dear, the moment you truly embrace your own unique, radiant, utterly fabulous self, that is when you become truly unstoppable. If this message resonated with you, is here to remind you of your worth every step of the way. Subscribe for more affirmations, inspiration, and wisdom that empower you to embrace your journey with confidence and grace. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and let us know in the comments, what does beauty mean to you?